think about and talk about and execute a plan around every single day at FPL and also Next Area Energy, which is our parent company. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing, what I think is important for the state as well, and then focus on a little bit of what's going on in the future, what's likely to be happening, and what we're going to be working on to make that happen. One thing that I'd like to ask all of you is, anybody have any idea what today's anniversary is, 1 year anniversary of what happened in Florida a year ago today? Michael. Hurricane Michael, Cat 5 hurricane, made landfall 1 year ago today in the Panhandle on Pennsylvania. And first time a Cat 5 has hit a continental U.S. since Andrew in '92. And I'm sure some of you in this room remember Andrew very well. Having come on shore just south of here. It is a stark reminder, I think, as to why resiliency is so important and why planning for it today and the future is critical. Now, there are a lot of reasons why we should be focused on this, but as I drove into Miami this morning, I was just reminded one of the key reasons is because this place is booming. And yes, I did catch some traffic as I came off. Thank you very much. But you know what? When I hit traffic down here, this is the optimist in me. I really try to remind myself that it's a sign of progress. It's a sign of growth. I'd much rather have full streets than empty streets because it means that a lot of great things are happening, and you can see it all across the skyline on this city with cranes, with trucks coming in, with people moving in. Miami, Miami-Dade, Southeast Florida, frankly, the state is hitting on all cylinders. And we should be thankful for that. We should also not take it for granted. This city is booming for a lot of reasons, and they're not by accident. Things like a great workforce, obviously great infrastructure, and yes, I know people are going to say, well, it's not so great when I'm stuck in traffic. But constantly we're improving that, and opportunities to continue to grow the state. Many people don't know it, but last year Florida hit $1 trillion as an economy. We are a $1 trillion a year economy in Florida. That would make us, if we were our own country, the 17th largest economy in the world. Bigger than Argentina, bigger than Switzerland. Mexico is the next largest economy. And we're doing that because we have low taxes, no state income tax. I'm sure everybody's happy about. Right? We have actually a good per capita income, low unemployment rate. We have great infrastructure throughout the state of Florida. Commercial airports, deep water ports, port right here on Panamax Ready Port, rail, highway system that allows us to bring products and goods in from across the world, offload them, take them right to the tunnel, right over to the trains, put them on trains, and they can be in Chicago in 48 hours or less. That is amazing. And it is something that really positions the state for success long term, and it positions Miami-Dade for continued growth. But again, none of that happens by accident, and it takes a lot of planning, a lot of investment. And I do want to give a little shout out to the mayor and his entire team, because we work nearly every day with the mayor, with Mayor Jimenez, also with leaders throughout the city and the county to try to make these plans today for what's going to happen for many years down the road. Now, our business environment is something also that I think we need to jealously guard. We are a state that is absolutely set perfectly for success compared to any other state in America. For the last 3 years in a row, we've actually produced more jobs than any state in the United States, including Texas, by the way, which is typically our biggest rival. We have a lot of reasons. I'll talk about some of them, like no income tax. Mayor, how are you? Good to see you. I took your spot. I'm sorry. Are you okay on time, Mayor? For me to go and do this, or do you want to come up? You sure? Okay. We have a lot of advantages that give us the opportunity, I think, for continued growth. Like I said, between our ports, our airports, our highways, our workforce. diverse, multilingual workforce that's highly trained by the #1 university system, by the way, in America. This year, Florida's university system is ranked #1 in the United States. And I can tell you from personal experience, because we recruit and hire people from across our university system, and the partnerships that we have, like with Miami-Dade College, with FIU, with University of Miami, with schools across the state are fantastic. And it gives us an opportunity to get the best and the brightest in the company and make sure that we can continue to compete. Now, I view our role as a corporation as critical to making sure that Florida can continue to be successful. Electricity is a fundamental building block for the economy to do well. You know, like it or not, it's become even more and more important. I have a 17-year-old, and he swears that he could not live without his smartphone. I assure him he actually could, because I did when I was 17, but he doesn't buy it. And you really think about how all the technology that we rely on now permeates throughout our life. It's all run by electricity. And so I take very seriously the responsibility to be able to deliver reliable and affordable power every single day. And so that's why we're so focused on trying to make sure that we can provide that reliable power by being resilient, but also making sure that it's affordable and clean every day. Now, being clean is now very fashionable. But that's not the reason I think that we should all be focused on clean energy. Being clean is not only the right thing to do, but it's actually very good business. One of the things that makes Florida very successful economically is the fact that we have a huge tourism industry. 126 million people visited Florida last year. That is more tourists than any place in the world. And it grew last year from the year before. And it's on track to actually pass 126 million this year. It's the reason, one of the biggest reasons, you don't pay a state income tax. I think being clean is important to that industry as well. And let's talk a little about that. Just want to remember that number though. 126 million people visited our state. And then a lot of those folks who visit our state decide, you know, this is really a great place. It's amazing. I want to move here. And so they come here. And being clean is a big part of that. Very brief overview. A lot of you know Florida Power Light, and most of you are customers, and if you are, thank you. I appreciate it. Remember, by the way, it's a proven fact that you sleep much better when it's cold all night, so turn your air conditioners down. It's for your own health. But we are part of a bigger company called NextEra Energy. And many people really don't know much about NextEra Energy. It's headquartered right up the road in Juneau Beach. It owns Florida Power Light. It also has another company called Next Energy Resources. And then we recently purchased Gulf Power, which is utility in the Panhandle. Now, the reason I bring this up is because the culture that we have at FPL is shaped and driven by the influences of the other companies as well. And I like to think that FPL helps shape the culture of the other companies that are part of the family. But Next Energy Resources, just as an example, is by itself a Fortune 500 company that we grew from scratch that is focused on renewable energy, among many other things. But combined, FPL and Next Energy Resources, we actually produce more electricity now from the wind and the sun than anybody in the world. Anybody in the world. We are #1 in producing electricity from the wind and the sun. And we're also the largest users now of battery technology in the world. Many people don't realize it. By market cap, the measurement of how large you are for the value of the company, we're the largest in the world for an electric company. By far. So I tell you that because culture is really, really important. Because you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to look at new technology and not be afraid of it. You have to be willing to challenge your own thinking and say, yes, it's worked that way for the last 20 years, but we should still look at a new way of doing things. What the past has delivered is important. That's part of the culture. But also looking forward in the future is important too. To give you a little glimpse, I'm going to show you just a very quick 60-second spot that we put together to try to introduce the rest of the country to who NextEra is. And you look at the visuals, pick out a few spots that you might look familiar to.
They put their shoulders to it, broad backs and hard will, squaring off against whatever comes next. They defied the law of gravity and went faster and farther than any one of them had ever imagined. They learned what it takes to power a dream. Someone before them had discovered America, but they discovered what it means to be an American. And the thing about discovery, it has a beginning, but no end. The next era belongs to those who discover again what it means to be an American. Those who have the resourcefulness, the ingenuity, and the grit to ensure the next energy to power our dreams will be American energy. This is our era. This is America's energy era. Next era energy.
Being resilient is not just a good goal to have. I think it's a responsibility. Being clean is a responsibility. We should, as Americans, want to be energy independent. We should want to make sure that our children and our grandchildren and future generations can enjoy all the benefits and the beautiful environment that we have because we are good stewards of it today. Our focus is making sure that we plan for the long term. The decisions we make today really aren't going to affect me as much as they are going to affect future generations. And we really try to look at that from the company. Florida Power Light serves half of Florida. There's actually 54 other utilities in Florida. Many people think that we serve just South Florida. Some people think we serve all of Florida, God bless them. We don't. We serve half of the state, as you can see from this map here. That's 27,000 square miles. That's 35 counties. That's about 5.1 million customers. And when we say customers, that's really a meter. So it's really about 11 million people. Half of Florida's population, a little more than half of Florida's population is what we serve. So as we think about the responsibility that we have to provide electricity to those folks affordably and reliably, resiliency permeates all of that. The dots represent power generation that we have across the state. And one of the things we have to think about is how can we be resilient and independent enough to make sure that we don't rely on other states to bring power into us, because quite frankly, the infrastructure is not there. And a lot of the power plants that are north of us are older, use technologies that we've stopped using, and I don't want to rely on them. So we have looked for now more than 2 decades of ways that we can actually improve what we have here today, at the same time making sure that customers save money doing so. And the result has been a march to wean ourselves off of oil and to move ourselves to natural gas, renewables, and making sure that our nuclear power plants that were built in the 1980s continue to provide zero emissions power day in and day out. We are now the cleanest utility of any in the Southeast, one of the cleanest in the United States from an emissions standpoint, and we're nowhere near done getting even better. And again, why is that important? Because it's also very important for the state from a business standpoint. 126 million tourists. Most save all year long to be able to take that family vacation. I believe if you've saved all year long and you're on that flight all excited and you're on final approach coming into Miami International Airport and you're looking out the window waiting to see the beautiful skyline and you penetrate a smog bank instead, you're not going to come back. You walk on beaches where you pick up tar in your feet, you swim in water that's not very attractive, smells, you're not coming back. And retirees who work their whole lives somewhere else, nowhere near as beautiful as Florida, want to go somewhere where they can afford to really enjoy their retirement years, are not going to move to a state where they can't breathe the air, where they can't enjoy being outside. Being clean is not just the right thing to do for today and our children and future generations, but it's also the right thing to do to make sure Florida continues to be an attractive place that brings in now 1,000 people a day. 1,000 people a day are moving to the state. Think about that. 1,000 people a day are moving to the state. And they're moving from other states where it's not as beautiful, it's high taxes, it's high cost, it's cold, right? And they have a choice. And so we're focused on making sure that we're doing the right thing for the long term. Now, one of the ways that we also do that is making sure that as we embrace technologies, we put those technologies in, we're also very focused on our cost. Because it's really easy to go out and just buy something and then put it in the bill and keep moving down the road. But what that does is create a problem eventually for everybody because you have less money in your pockets. This chart is a very busy chart. But I show it because it's important to understand this is a mentality that we have in the company. These are all major utilities in the United States. And what I do is I benchmark us against every single one. Not in Florida, in the United States. I would do it globally, except they don't report their information. And I submit to you that people don't report their information typically when they're not very proud of it, and they don't want people to know. All those dots represent their cost structure. What does it cost to deliver electricity to each customer? And that line in the middle, that red line, that's average. 50%. The yellow line, that's if you're in the top 10%. That dot way down there, that's us. We're the lowest cost utility in America by a wide margin. And that dot has gotten lower every year in a row, 3 years in a row. Now, that's a pretty little dot and all that good. What does that really mean? It means $2 billion a year that we don't charge customers to do the exact same job that everybody else on that chart is doing. And look, a lot of people say, hey, there's nothing wrong with being average. I can go up on the stand in Tallahassee and say, commissioners, we're doing a great job, we're right in the middle of the pack. And if that were the case, we'd be charging $2 billion, we'd be spending $2 billion a year and charging customers $2 million a year. What does that mean for you? Well, I don't know how much your electric bill is, but our average electric bill is $99 and change. So let's keep it simple. Call it $100. Now, I know there's a few of you out there saying, my bill's not $100. And to that, I would say, thank you. I appreciate you building a big house and having lots of air conditioners and a pool with a pump and all that. God bless you. But 50% of our customers or less have $100 or less for their entire bill every month. And if we were average, we'd charge that customer $20 more every month. So if your bill's $200 a month, we would charge you $40 more a month. Every month in and month out. Why is that important? Because that's $2 billion that we're going to be taking out of customers' pockets that otherwise they are today able to go out and spend in the economy. And I think it's important to make sure that we support the economy. So how do we do it? Well, one of the ways we do it is we tear down old plants. Now, these plants over there, Port Everglades, Palmetto Bay, and a bunch of others, these were state-of-the-art when they were built in the 1960s. When Florida was going through its first boom and air conditioning was started, we built a bunch of power plants. And we burned oil in order to make electricity. In fact, we burned more oil than any company in the United States to make electricity in 2001. In 2001, we burned 41 million barrels of oil. We made a decision as a company that we were going to change our ways. Not because we were mandated to, but because we didn't like the volatility around oil. We didn't like relying on super tankers coming into our ports from countries that some, let's just be honest, don't support America. And some actually fund people who hate us. And we were spending $4 billion a year and sending it to those places. And we didn't like the emissions profile, so we said we're going to change it. We're going to adopt new technology. Cutting-edge technology, gas-fired generation. We'll use natural gas made in America and bring it into Florida. And we started a march. That doesn't happen overnight. Anybody who's built anything reminds me of because it's not easy to get the permits, right? That's okay. It's not just Miami, it's everywhere. You got to work hard. It takes a while. This has been a march. Last year, we burned no oil. We burned a couple of 100,000 barrels of diesel fuel, because I'm required to burn it to prove that we can burn it in case we have to for an emergency. Resiliency, right? Having some opportunity to actually make sure that if there is an interruption, you can still produce power. But we went from 41 million barrels to next to nothing. That's a 98% reduction in a course of about 15 years. What does that mean? We actually saved customers $10 billion in the last 14 years because we're no longer burning as much fuel. Because not only did we tear the plants down and switch from oil to gas, we built much more efficient power plants. Think about the 1960s. Any of you are here at car buffs, you'll appreciate this. Think about a 1962 Cadillac. Beautiful car, big fins, a trunk you can put 20 of your friends in with a keg of beer, right? Beautiful. Not the most fuel efficient machine in the world. We took that 1960 Cadillac and we blew it up. I would say put it in a museum instead. And we replaced it with like a Ford Fusion or a Camry. Miles per gallon, much more efficient. That is $10 billion of savings in fuel we just didn't go out and buy. That's $10 billion that stayed in customers' pockets. That's $10 billion that went into Florida's economy instead. And it makes us a lot more resilient because guess what? I'm not relying on oil coming through the Straits of Hormuz. That's subject to missile attacks from Iran or problems with refineries in Saudi Arabia. Instead, we're shipping it in from Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Texas. I think that's important for a lot of reasons, including, by the way, national security. So I spent 10 years in Washington, D.C., working in the government a long time ago. And I was there when we first went into the Gulf War, the very first time. And I can tell you unequivocally that we did not go in and liberate Kuwait because it was a great democracy that needed saving. We went into Kuwait because it was the front door to Saudi Arabia. And we cared about Saudi Arabia because of oil. And so we put trillions of dollars over the years in defense in the Middle East. And most importantly, we have put men and women at risk, their lives at risk, in order to protect our interests for oil. I think it's important that we continue to focus on how we can be independent from all of that. And that means adopting technologies that we can control here in America. And I'm not an isolationist. I have lived overseas. I grew up overseas. I think we should have international trade. But when it comes down to energy, it has absolutely national security.
Turning to the sun in the
That's why we're
sunshine
now
state.
focused on solar. That's another resource. And you can see we've made some big announcements recently.
The Sunshine State, the solar power capital of the country.
The utility is planning to install enough solar panels in Florida to wrap around the Earth 1.5 times. That's a goal of 30 million panels by the year 2030.
As you can tell, we kind of like doing things in a big way. We're going to do it. We're going to make a difference. Now, we just made that announcement in the last year. But this isn't new for us in being solar energy. The first solar facility we ever built for FPL was 1984 here in Miami. No, it was tiny. It wasn't anything like that. But we did it because we wanted to learn about the technology. We wanted to understand how it worked. What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the costs? And in 1984, it was wickedly expensive. And it didn't make sense to do on a large scale. But we kept at it. We kept trying different technologies. We opened a living lab on the very floor of our buildings. We built ones out in the Mojave Desert where, the sun's a little more intense. So it made a little more sense initially. And we kept at it while the industry also continued to get better at manufacturing and the cost came down. And now, We're rolling it out across Florida because it makes economic sense as well. You've got to balance all of these things with making sure that it works technically and it's affordable. And now solar is very affordable, particularly if you do it like this at scale. The mayor and I were out on the site right here in Miami not long ago, and I think even he was a little surprised when we walked up some stairs and you get a view and you look over 500 acres. Our average site is 330,000 panels. 330,000 panels that cover nearly 500 acres. Now, anybody here ever shop at Costco? Sam's, right? You buy toilet paper, it's like a 24-pack, right? And it's cheaper than going and buying a single roll. Guess what? Solar panels are the same thing. We buy them by the millions, and we get a better price than somebody goes out and buys 8 at a time. Economies of scale make a difference. Operations make a difference. We can operate these a lot more cost effectively than in a small, tiny individual site. We actually now do it remotely. All of our facilities across the country has a single control room in Juno Beach. So we don't have to have a bunch of people out. Unless there's a problem, then we can go out and fix it. We use a lot of technology to do that. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But this is the future, and it's happening now. We made an announcement that we're going to do 30 million panels by 2030. Frankly, I'll be disappointed if we don't do more. We already have 18 of these facilities in operation now. 10 are under construction right now. This isn't some pie in the sky in the future by 2030 we're going to have this thing. We are doing it today, and it's going right now into your electric. You're enjoying the benefits of it. The Department of Energy says Florida, now look, you all see on the license plate, it says the Sunshine State. And you'll see this occasionally in a newspaper article, and people say, we're the Sunshine State. We should be #1 in solar. We've done a great job marketing Florida as the Sunshine State. And we do a lot of sunshine. But the Department of Energy, the national labs, have actually measured the solar resource of each state. We're 9th in the country. Why are we not #1? Well, if any of you have ever been to the Mojave Desert, you know that there's almost never a cloud in the sky. Ever. I mean, like 3 days a year. We get some clouds in the sky here, don't we? Like every afternoon. They come rolling in. There's humidity in the air. That diffuses light. There's a bunch of other reasons. We've got good resource, but we're not #1, we're 9th. But now, we're getting close to being 2nd in the country in solar that we've actually installed. And here's the other thing I'll tell you about these measurements. And be very careful when you read about this. It's important to think about the implications. Being #1 in this, who's #1? California. They've installed a lot of solar. Not all of it makes sense. Take your electric bill, whatever your electric bill is, multiply it by 3.5. That's what the average Californian pays every day. For a lot of reasons, but part of it is because it's not all smart where you put solar. I technically can put solar inside my garage, and it is installed, and it gets counted. But it's not going to produce much electricity. We have 14,000 wind turbines in operation across this country as a company. We have more wind turbines than anybody in North America. Mostly, if we were our own country, our company would be the 6th largest in the world. I tell you that because, obviously, we like wind. It makes economic sense. Some places. You know how many wind turbines are in Florida? 0. It's not because we don't know how to build or operate a wind farm. It's because it doesn't make economic sense. Where's the best wind in Florida? Right on the beach. Why? Temperature difference between water and land generates wind. Where's the most expensive real estate in Florida? Right on the beach. And there's probably 1 or 2 people who wouldn't be too happy if we were building wind turbines right up and on the beach. By the way, these are big. Our average wind turbine is 41 stories tall. So we don't build it because it doesn't make economic sense. But solar does, particularly in the middle of the state, where you have farmland or old citrus, land that's been disturbed, and we can go in and we can actually build the solar, and we can actually do it inexpensively. And now we're looking at batteries in a very big way. We just announced, actually, the largest battery facility in the world by a factor of 4 that we're building in Manatee County. It is huge. 40 acres of batteries. 40 acres. How big is 40 acres? Well, it's the equivalent batteries of 100 million iPhones. But any of you who've been to a Dolphins game, and I know they're tough season, but anybody who's been to a Dolphins game, right? It's 30 Hard Rock stadiums full of batteries. Put that in perspective. And we're doing it in a way that makes economic sense now. And importantly, here's what we're doing. Here's a picture of a solar field that exists today. That's 75 megawatts. Next to a power plant that was built in the 1970s. It burned oil. It got switched to natural gas in the 1980s. And you know what we're going to do with that? We're tearing it down. And we're replacing it with 40 acres of batteries. And in the process, we're going to reduce our emissions by over 1 million tons. And we're going to save customers millions of dollars every single year. Now, batteries don't produce power. They store it. So we're going to charge the battery using the solar panels during the day. And we'll be able to actually discharge the battery in the evening when people are still coming home, turning on their stoves, turning down the air conditioner, God bless them, and starting to enjoy their evening. That's how we're using the technology. Is it a silver bullet? Is it perfect? No. There is no silver bullet. You have to use all of these technologies together, and you have to be financially disciplined to do it if you're going to make sure that customer bills stay low. And if customer bills stay low, they're going to be supportive of it. That's why we continue to invest in Turkey Point. Turkey Point produces zero emissions energy, not one bit of greenhouse gases. And it has been safely providing energy now for 4 decades. We've invested several $billions to upgrade that plant now so it's state-of-the-art. And our goal is to make sure we can continue to run it and get approvals to run it for at least another 20 years beyond when the license expires. Because it makes really good sense, environmentally as well as economically. This plant also, by the way, has about an $800 million a year impact on Miami-Dade, economically. Really makes a big difference. But most importantly, it powers this part of the state. It is hard to keep the lights on without this work, without this running, especially during peak times. And a lot of people have been critical and saying, well, the environment is impacted negatively. That's just not true. And the facts don't bear it out. And I'm very proud of our environmental record there. The cooling canal system is a 5 billion gallon system of canals that we were required to build, by the way, by the Department of Interior and the Environmental Protection Agency back in the 70s. They required it. So we built the cooling canals. It has now become, and it is an industrial waste pond, is how it's permitted, but it has become a refuge now for wildlife like no other place in South Florida. In fact, we have a full-time biologist there that just works with the American crocodile. And the American crocodile, because of Turkey Point's cooling canal system and the biologists that we've had there working year in, year out, is now off of the endangered species list because of Turkey Point. You should be proud of that. I'm proud of that. We took an animal that was endangered, and it is now doing so well, it's going to be. That's also part about being resilient. It's having different forms of generation. By the way, Turkey Point took a direct hit from Andrew in 1992 on the strong side of the storm. You know what was damaged to the plant? Nothing. We were able to turn the plant back on and operate it long before we were actually allowed to do it because there was so much debris on the roads. But the federal government said you can't open the plant until we have everything cleared north of the plant. Being resilient is, again, having a variety of different things to do to generate electricity. Now, one of the things, and this is one of my favorite projects, we've been working with the mayor, he's a visionary on this and has been for years, is how do we help Miami-Dade solve its wastewater problem? Because you got a wastewater issue in the sense that right now it's going into ocean outfall and that has to stop. And looking at new technologies and how do we end up coming up with innovative solutions that can help with that. Well, you know, Mayor Jimenez is not somebody you say no to very often, and you try to find ways to get to yes because he's very forward-thinking, and I appreciate that. I mean, because this is a very forward-thinking project. We have proposed actually building a treatment plant that will take what's called gray water, which is currently going out in the Atlantic Ocean, and we will take that water, we will treat that water, and make it almost drinking quality, and then put it in the cooling canal system, which will allow us then to reduce the amount of water that we pull out of the aquifer, and then will help freshen that whole area with fresh water. And we're going to run it with a solar plant that has batteries right next to it. It will be the world's first water treatment facility powered by the sun with battery technology. I think it's a smart thing to do. I think it showcases what this city and this county and this part of the state, frankly, Florida, is all about. It's taking and tackling the big challenges that we have and making sure that we're able to continue to provide not just FPL customers, but all of our citizens with clean, reliable water and electricity. And doing it in a very environmentally friendly way. Again, because it's the right thing to do, but it's also really the smart thing to do. I'm excited about this. I'm hoping that we can get it moving and getting forward. We're working very closely. And stay tuned. We're going to hopefully be able to get something announced here. A few more things, and then I'll open up for questions. So, smart grid technology. This is another area of resiliency we've been focused on for a long time. Smart grid technology is a lot of different things. But fundamentally, it is having visibility into this part of the system that delivers power like we've never had before. And it starts frankly with a smart meter that we installed about 10 years ago started, that now every single one of you have. All 5 million plus customers have smart meters at their homes or their businesses. It gives us the data that we need to understand what's going on. Along with over 100,000 different devices, many of which actually we have, our employees have either invented or improved on and patented improvements that now hang on the lines. To the point now where we're able to see what's going on in the grid like we never did before. So what does that really mean? Well, we're doing things like self-healing and predictively understanding what's going to happen before it does. Let me give you a little bit of an analogy. Think how nice it would be if I-95 was a smart interstate. That every lane was monitoring itself all the time. And when a lane started to understand that it was actually getting ready to develop pothole, not that there's any pothole, right? That it would actually send a message to the Department of Transportation and say, hey, I don't have it happening yet, but I'm getting ready to have a pothole that needs to be fixed. And the Department of Transportation would then be saying, great, I can actually now schedule this at a time when it is convenient to do it, like 2 in the morning because very few people are on the road, and not pay overtime because it's not an emergency. And the road says, in the meantime, I'm going to divert traffic into other lanes so we make sure that we don't create the pothole even faster. And then DOT sends out the crews. They actually repair it rather than have to replace it. And you never even see it happening. That's what's happening right now in the electric grid. We're not predicting outages before they happen. We're actually knocking on people's doors today and saying, excuse me, you are getting ready to have an outage in 24 hours, 72 hours, 12 hours. All depends on what the data is telling us. And we're doing it with a 90% confidence factor. And we're actually able to go out and fix things before they break. And you know, it's just like running your car. If you can fix things before it breaks down, it's always cheaper. And it's a lot more convenient because you're not broken down. That's exactly what we're doing with the grid. Now, it may not sound like a big deal. We got 71,000 miles of line in Florida. 71,000 miles of electric line. 27,000 square miles that our trucks have to cover. When we're not rolling trucks as often, when we're not repairing things, replacing equipment, all that starts to add up into millions and millions of dollars of savings, and that's how we get to $2 billion worth of savings every single year. And then taking that data and really understanding how to put it to work is tremendously important. This is actually how we run the grid right here from Miami. The entire state of Florida transmission system is run at a facility in Miami. And that's what the board looks like. I will tell you, I have had people from NASA, and I've had a few 4-star generals come through from Central Command and Southern Command, and they're like, wow, that is cool. We need something like that, because this gives us visibility into what's going on, which allows us then to be able to address problems before they happen. Steve Jobs said, collecting data is easy. It's knowing what to do with it that's the challenge. That's what we're dealing with every day, because we have literally billions of bytes of data coming in every single minute. And so taking that, developing algorithms that allow us to be predictive, that's what we do at the company. And I'm very proud of the fact that we've actually patented quite a few of them. And then we take that data and we also look at other technology. We didn't invent the drone as an example. We didn't invent the iPad as an example. We didn't invent FLIR, which is an infrared device that the military actually developed and was classified for many years. But we're taking all those technologies and actually putting them together to be able to fly the lines and see if there's a problem that you can't even see with the naked eye. And so we can fix things before they break. And we can make sure that the lights don't actually go out. And we can see how it pays off day in and day out. Because our reliability rate is now the best in Florida by a wide margin. And actually for the last 3 years has been the best in America. And this isn't the easiest place in the world to provide electricity, right? We've got afternoon thunderstorms, lots of lightning, more lightning than any place in the world except I think Cameroon. And we have a lot of salt in the air, which is corrosive. But technology has helped us really change the way we run the business. And so we've taken that and we've gone the next step and said, how can we even be better? 71,000 miles of line, you heard me say that before. About 40% of that is currently underground. That means 60% by definition is not. We're working now on a system because we got permission. Last year, new law was passed that allows us to put a program in place that over the next several decades, our goal is to put everybody's lines underground. In the backyards, in the front yards, those will go underground. They are a lot more resilient to high winds when they're underground, obviously. Right? Mostly because, guess what doesn't hit the lines when a hurricane comes ripping through? Trees. And look, I love trees. But it's a problem when they fall into the lines. I don't care how strong you build systems in. You have concrete poles, especially in a big banyan or a military, they can take out a concrete pole. When it's underground, that doesn't happen. Now, I'm also not going to tell you it's some silver bullet and it's perfect. Because when an oak tree goes over, by the way, or a banyan tree, you've seen these. They're big, right? The root system goes up, it rips everything up underground along with it. So there's challenges. It's not perfect, but it is a lot more resilient. And by doing it over a multi-decade approach, we'll be able to do it effectively and efficiently. Cost effectively for everybody, so we're not having all of you have your bills get sticker shock from huge rate increases. That's the goal. But at the same time, continuously driving, and nobody else in the country is doing this, by the way, at this level, continuously driving improvements. And every single day, it actually pays off. Because you know we get thunderstorms through here every day. We get lightning every day. And then, of course, we get these monsters that come in. This is Dorian. Actual satellite image of Dorian. We were staring down a large caliber barrel in Dorian. A Cat 5 storm that was predicted to come straight into the West Palm area due to that hurricane force winds, major hurricane force winds, right here in Miami. And it would have gone all the way up the coast, including Orlando, Jacksonville, and it would have been devastating to the state. Irma hit us 2 years ago, and our models, we predicted about how many millions of man-hours it would take to fix the system. It actually was about right on 1.3 million construction man-hours is what we actually did to fix the system after Irma. Dorian was more than twice as powerful. This is not repairing buildings, electric lines. This is rebuilding. Those poor folks in the Bahamas were in a blender for a couple of days. We were lucky We were just flat and left as a state. We should not take this and just say, we got lucky and forget about it. We should all be asking ourselves, were we really ready for this? And what can we do to be even more ready? We did what we could to be ready. We trained and we drilled for this every year. We brought 17,000 people across the country before the storm. These men and women drove towards the danger. They trusted FPL to keep them safe during the storm. But they were willing to come here, so the minute that the winds dropped below 35 miles an hour, we could get them on the roads and get them out there restoring power. We were just lucky we didn't have to use them. The storm was actually so big, by the way, even as it did in Lansing, Florida, as it kind of moved up there, we still had 160,000 people that got knocked out of power from falling trees. A lot of rain, ground gets loose, trees go over. We still had 160,000 people that went over, that lost power, from those trees going over. But you know what? The average customer was restored in 1 hour. Nobody was out of power for more than 24 hours. Not even a day. One of the largest storms that threatened our coast still had impacts. Florida was back up and running in less than a day. That's resiliency. That's planning for this, making sure that we can weather the storms, whatever the storm is, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's an external shock from whatever, like foreign country, cybersecurity is an example, or a terrorism threat, or economic downturn. Those are all threats that we need to be resilient to. And then, because we were able to get back on our feet so quickly, we were able to lend a hand that much faster to the bomb. And I want to give a shout out to all of you, to the mayor specifically, as I worked directly with him on making sure that we did the right thing by stepping up for our neighbors in the Bahamas and getting them help within hours. Thank you. You did the right thing. I'm going to end with this thought. But resiliency takes on a lot of different forms, and clean energy does as well. There is no one single thing that makes you resilient, or makes you clean, or even makes you affordable. But what is common is that if you all work together, you can find solutions that actually make a difference. And very few solutions in the world I've ever come across are perfect. And the key, really, in my opinion, is not letting perfect get in the way of good. It's trying different things. It's being open-minded. And it's being willing to work together to make it happen. Putting the best minds to it. And occasionally it's not going to work out exactly as planned. Learn from it, and then move on. I'm really proud of what NextEra and FPL have done so far. We're just getting started, and we are by no means perfect. We learn every day, and we learn every day from our customers as well, and from our administrators and our professors of our university system and our students. This is all about working together. And if we do that, there is nothing that we can't accomplish as a company, as a city, as a county, as a region, as a state. Florida, and particularly this part of Florida, is so beautifully set up for success. We need to vigilantly guard that position of strength, and we need to leverage that. And if we do, Florida and Floridians are going to reap rewards that is going to be the envy of everybody else in the country, and I think even the world. I thank you for the partnership. I thank you for the time today. I'm happy to answer your questions.
Before our next question, I want to let the audience know that Mayor Jimenez is able to stay with us for a few more minutes. So if anyone has a question for the mayor, feel free to come forward as well.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for coming out this morning.
Pleasure.
I am a solar homeowner with battery backup, and I charge an all-electric car with sunshine. Recently, the Florida Municipal Power Agency CEO encouraged its members to charge as high as a $50 fixed charge, which would kneecap solar homeowners like myself and try to make us all go away. And I'm wondering if FPL is considering doing the same.
Yeah, we're not. So Florida Municipal Power Association, if you're an FPL customer, you're not impacted by them. They actually provide power to is kind of cooperative too. Municipals are cooperative. So City of Homestead is an example, is a municipally owned utility. So we're not advocating for a $50 increase. I don't know how the $50 came about from the calculation. What I do think we have to be now, and by the way, I think it's great that you decide to put solar on your roof and a battery backup, and I think everybody who wants to do that should have the right to do it. So I would be very clear on that. I'm a property rights person. You have a house and you want to put solar on it? Terrific. I have no problem with that. What I think we need to start having a conversation about is at what point do we stop the subsidies that everybody pays for those who are getting a benefit? The way I look at this is very simple. If we provide, the government, the company, provide a financial incentive to people, it should be to change behavior. If you don't, then you're just giving people a gift. And that's whether it's through energy efficiency or solar or whatever the case is. Rooftop solar and solar generally, right, for many years was cost prohibitive. And therefore, it needed incentives in order to be able to compete with other technologies. Solar panels are no longer cost prohibitive. They are now so plentiful, it's a commodity. It is affordable, as we have demonstrated, because we're building these solar facilities and actually reducing customer bills. Now, putting it on your roof is more expensive. It just is, because every roof is designed differently, and your system had to be custom built for your roof. And your roof was not designed and built specifically to maximize the amount of solar energy you get out. It was built to protect you from the elements, and so it's oriented in a way that may or may not be optimal, as an example. It's not wrong, it's just more expensive. It's like building a custom house versus a spec house that's the same over and over again. That's the only difference. I'm perfectly fine if people want to put it on their roof. What I'm not okay with anymore is the fact that everybody is paying now a subsidy under the current system in order to have those customers who choose to do it paid for by those who don't. And that's done through what's called net meter. And so you get a benefit whenever you generate electricity. I have to buy it under the law, and I have to give you a credit based on the full retail rate. Even though you're not providing customer service, you're not providing billing, you're not providing the men and women who go out and fix the lines when the storm comes through, you're providing electrons, which is the exact same thing as what a power plant provides. That's called wholesale. It's like you're the factory. And I think it's great. And I'm fine with having to buy that power from you because you're producing it. I just think I should be able to buy it for what it costs me to either produce it or buy it from somebody else at the wholesale level. Because otherwise, everybody else is now paying the subsidy. So I want to put this in real terms for everybody to understand. Currently, we have 7,000 or so customers like you that have rooftop solar out of 5 million. Right? They've chosen to do that because they want to do it. Right. Currently, we are now providing them a subsidy in the tune of $13 million a year. That 5 million customers are paying to 7,000. And 25% of our customers pay $50 or less a month for their electricity. If you're struggling to make ends meet, I don't think you should be paying a subsidy to somebody like me who's fortunate enough that I can write a check and put a $30,000 rooftop system on my roof, because I should do that on my own. And so that's the conversation, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but I'm being very honest that I think that's the conversation we just need to have. Understand that we can continue to do this, but it does have an impact on everybody's bills. I'll give you one more quick example. Air conditioning subsidy, right? So the $1,000 rebate that we see sometimes that FPL will provide, or it's mandated to do that. I'd like to ask anybody to tell me it's not wrong. Has anybody here replaced their air conditioner so they can get the $1,000 rebate? Because the average air conditioning system is $5,000 for a home system. I don't know anybody who actually says, in order to get a $1,000 rebate, I'm going to take a perfectly working air conditioning system out and replace it with a new one. So I'm going to spend $5,000 so I can get $1,000 back. Nobody does that. When do you replace your air conditioner? When it breaks, right? When it breaks. So the $1,000 you're getting, has that driven different behavior? Is it got you to do something that but for the $1,000 you wouldn't do? No. You're just getting $1,000 because it's mandated for energy efficiency. But the truth is, it's not changing behavior. So it's not a subsidy, it's a gift. It's a gift from all of us to that person because it gets built into the cost of your bill. Well-meaning, well-intentioned policy that has unintended consequences. When I have this conversation in Tallahassee, and there'll be people, I'm sure, after this, that will absolutely excoriate you in social media or wherever. It's like I have horns on my head. But I'm just being honest with you. This is what California has bills that are 3.5 times what you pay. Many times it's because they've adopted these policies which drive prices up because they're trying to mandate different behaviors. I think we should be providing incentives. Batteries, as an example, is a technology that on a very big scale makes sense, but on a smaller scale it doesn't, but it's still nascent. I'm okay with actually providing financial incentives to get people to drive more electric vehicles. Not because it benefits FPL, but because the best way for us to reduce emissions in Miami-Dade is to get vehicles' emission rates really down. I'd love to see a program in place, as an example, to try to get fleets, buses, FedEx, UPS, and let's make it really smart and say, you know what, the first 3 companies that do it are going to get a benefit. After that, you should be doing it on your own. Provide an incentive to change behavior. Then I'm okay with it. And I think it's actually a policy that most people would be okay with. The only thing I would like to do is to make sure that all customers are getting a fair share. And so there is a fixed charge paid for maintaining the lines that you benefit from. Even though you have solar and batteries, you still have the benefit of the grid back in England. I have to maintain power plants, transmission lines, and distribution lines to make sure that if your solar panels don't work, or it's been really cloudy, or whatever the case is, you still have the ability to have power. That requires a certain amount of money that's not currently reflected in the fixed charge. And so that's a subsidy. It's not $50, but it is more than the $6 you pay. And I do think it should be basic. That's the fixed charge that you get, about $6.95, but it should be a little bit higher. I don't know how they have to do that. Very long answer to the question. I apologize. Again, no 30-second soundbite solutions here.
So if I understand you're believing that the net metering is subsidy. What about subsidies that are given to the fossil fuel industry?
I don't think there needs to be any subsidies for the fossil fuel industry, and I am perfectly fine with having those taken out as well. There is no reason that coal should be subsidized, that natural gas should be subsidized, that the nuclear industry should be subsidized. Those are well-established technologies. What we need to do is drive more efficiency. And I'm